So listen, man, we know we're getting ready for the big pay-per-view here, and we've got some news and notes about Spanky. It's written here in the Observer. Spanky probably won't get a major push. It's the real life Brian Kendrick, keeping score at home, because 0-1 is going to remain his priority on dates, and they don't push guys who don't give up their Japanese deals. We should talk about that because you've had guys from New Japan and All Japan and Noah and 0-1 and even Big Japan in the early days of TNA. Was that a decision you had to make? Like, hey, if their priority is Japan, we're not going to be able to use them every show. So, if we're not priority for you, you can't be priority for us. Is that pretty much it?
But I tried to, and you can go back and kind of just look at our history. I tried to be as upfront as possible and drill in and say, look, on the Asylum days, it's 1 day a week. Then when we got TV, it's 2 days a week and a monthly pay-per-view. So at the very most, 9 shows a month. And I would, anybody that had a potential Japan deal, a current one coming up, I said, hey man, let's just get on the same page. If you want or need or what, just tell me. If Japan's your priority, I'm not saying I'm not going to use you, but you have to kind of understand that the guys that are committing and making us priority one and Japan priority two versus vice versa, that's just common business sense. And everybody really, I think both sides appreciated just the honesty, and I got it. So there were some guys that like, no, I'm going to make more money, or I want to really blow my career up over there, and I just don't think I can do it here. I'm like, I get it. Total honest conversation.
We're going to have an honest conversation about the pay-per-view now. We're finally here, Victory Road 2004. When you take a look at the Observer recap, the show got 57.7% thumbs up, 24.5% thumbs in the middle, and only 17.9% thumbs down. It was pretty close on the best match poll. AJ Styles and Petey Williams comes in first place. The X Division Gauntlet comes in second place. And you and Jeff Hardy come in third place. The minis match is a runaway for the worst match. When you first think about Victory Road 2004, without looking at research, without Google, just off the top of your head, what is your core memory of that show?
Jeff Hardy won't use the big ass ladder.
Okay.
I mean, I like how you set that up, but immediately I've yes, over and over and over. When I see that poster, I still think of that big ass ladder. And he's like, yeah, we're going to do this and that. And I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah. You've teased us before a little bit and given us some conversation when we've talked about Jeff before. But now that we're finally here at that pay-per-view, sort of lay out that story of having that conversation. Of course, in the main event, it's going to be Jeff Jarrett, Double J, and Jeff Hardy. But I want to hear from you more context about this big ass ladder.
I mean, other than, look, going into a monthly pay-per-view and where Jeff was at in his career, and I don't remember word for word the conversations and me having the conversations before we got here that night, but it's, hey man, if Jeff Hardy's in the main event, they're going to expect a Jeff Hardy match or a Jeff Hardy spot, or they want to see Jeff Hardy, and he couldn't agree more. And so as the conversations got going through the, weeks in the build up for it, he gave us the, the old, hey man, would it be possible to get a ladder bigger than an 8-foot ladder? Yeah, let's go to work on that. And you got to get a double-sided and all that. And then, how big do you want it, Jeff? Oh, I want it big. And so when you go from 8 to 10, that's big. You go from 8 to 12, Conrad, you don't really realize, like, all right, that's a big ass ladder. But that's, when you look, and I have been very fortunate to be around the best of the best of the best. And, I've just kind of learned through the years, some guys are just wired differently. Jeff's one of them. He, Daredevil would be, look, you can kind of come up with all kind of descriptors for different talent, but, the charismatic enigma, but no, the the mindset and the connection that Jeff has with the audience, I just think that uniqueness that he always brought to the table, that you couldn't quite put your finger on it, and that, yes, he's got a unique look, and his work skills and his promo skills, and we can come up with 4 or 5 different things here, and the daredevil skills and psychology and all that. But Jeff, to me, is one of those guys. I remember having the conversation. We talked about my dad a couple of times during this episode. It was me. You might like this, Conrad. It was me, my dad, and Jimmy Hart, and we were having lunch or something, and Jimmy was saying, Jerry, you used to tell me, and he would go through a Memphis story and a Memphis story and a Memphis story, because Dad was trying to get into, tell me about Jeff Hardy and just different things. And this is before this pay-per-view, but Jimmy just kind of rolled out and he said, Jerry, you taught me this, so I'll just kind of throw it back at you. Some guys just got that it factor. And I remember kind of jumping on that. I'm like, yep, Dad, Jimmy's right. You can't really describe Jeff's connection or drawing ability or anything like that, other than say he's got an it factor that you just don't come across very often at all when you're dealing with talent that can draw money.
SaveWithConrad.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Soto. I live near St. Louis, but I listen to a few of the podcasts. Real and JR, 83 Weeks, quite a bit. My wife and I had experienced some issues with credit card debt, and I had heard the testimonials of others refinancing and helping alleviate their credit card debt. And so I had looked into it, and that's how we started. I worked with Larry. He was very thorough and was able to explain the entire process for us and made it about as easy as it possibly could be. It was far more easier than I anticipated it to be, actually. With the credit cards and everything that we had, we were paying the minimum monthly payment every month and basically getting nowhere for, I don't know, probably the last 5 years. And after everything was all said and done, we completely paid off all the credit card debt, and we were saving, after paying those off, we were saving over $300 a month. Oh, I would highly recommend it to anyone that's looking to save some money, because it was a tremendous help. I've already told my other friends about it. I'm Sean Soto. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I have saved over $300 a month with SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender.
SaveWithConrad.com.